Hello and welcome to the Ladies of Lore. I am your Dungeon Master Kayla, and I am just saying hello to all of our adventurers who are joining us today. Say hello, adventurers.
Hello, adventurers.
Hello.
Like,
Thank you guys for being here. We are going to pass this over to Allie for a recap.
Are
So
we doing
feel
any
free.
introductions first?
Oh, feel free. Introduce yourselves and your characters.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Ali Mar. You might recognize me from any of my romance books or from the games I play with the Emerald Collective. You can find me on my socials at Ali_Mar_, and today I am playing Marisol. We don't know too much about her yet. She seems to disappear and reappear in the shadows, seems to be really good with a bow, killing shadow creatures, and as you'll find out soon, has been chosen.
Emily.
Hi, I'm Emily. My Instagram handle is hilariously_Emily. I play the tiefling Dahlia.
Redacted, do you want to go?
Sure. I'll be playing Kit. She's a living doll robot, and you can follow me on Instagram at everything is redacted. That's where all the rest of the information is. Thank you.
Reese, do you want to go?
Sure. Hi, I'm Reese, and I am playing Umbriel today.
Excellent.
And then I'm Tiffany or Spirit. You can find me on all of the Ladies of Lore socials or my own, which is spirit.cosplay, and I'm playing Manya. And she was also chosen. We don't know what any of this means.
Kayla, you want to go? Or
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Kayla. I am the DM and creator of Ladies of Lore. I made this because I really enjoy gaming with friends and wanted to highlight female voices and femme presenting female in tabletop role playing spaces. So that was kind of the message and the motive. I have another handle, which is the manicure mycologist, if you are interested in my science stuff. But that's a weird out there offshoot, but that's for many interests. That's fine.
in case this is your first time joining us, we've all kind of appeared in this forest, and we're all dead. Whoops. So, how did last episode start? We start with the sounds of a crowd, and we come in with the lights into a circus tent. Marisol stands in the crowd of the dead, and there's nowhere to go, nothing to see. But there's a promise of a show. Dahlia follows Manya into the tent, to the stage, to an orchestra of the macabre. Can you play? Can you sing? No. Grab an instrument and pretend because the show is about to begin. Kit leads Umbriel and Lova to an endless feat, but the tent nearby draws their attention, and they walk in just in time. Welcome to the show. A woman, a goddess, a queen descends from the sky with a choice. What will you choose? Stay here, join an endless cycle of the circus, or chance the unknown out there? The choice is ours. Cages descend containing strangers, containing a familiar face that Manya knows. If you decide to stay and then leave, well, Aerith demonstrates the punishments and the suffering that that choice will bring. So, what will you choose? Marisol teleports to the group to talk through options, but there is a tug on her shadows and she appears before Reshi. This is my chosen, he declares. Chosen what? But he is not the only one to choose. Aerith reaches into Dolly's mind and asks, what wouldn't you do for a second chance? And the answer is nothing. So Dahlia agrees. Verena looks down at Manya and takes her. To speed this along, Umbriel stares down at a familiar face. Will you be my chosen? Umbriel does not know, but the face is familiar. It is charming. And she is charmed. She will. A tall man with elven features talks to his axe, talks to Lova. Will you be my chosen? She will as well. Mari asks questions, does not get the answer she is looking for. Instead, he no longer asks, be my chosen. But who is he? The king, he says. Marisol decides that the only correct action is to stab, but his skin knits before her eyes. And there really isn't a choice at all. Was there ever? We all travel through a portal, and there Aerith lays out our path. We are to compete against each other, in a maze, with the goal of retrieving an item in the center. Death will bring us back. Victory will bring us back. And when this is over, we'll have to choose. But first, a feast.
And we open to the garden where everyone sits in a collective circle around this fiery urn in the centermost part of a pillar. Um, everyone is shown this expanse and scape of a torrential downpour and raining place where the skies are ever dark and the wind buffets every person on the street. It zooms into this front door looking kind of double Gothic architecture archway with these big gargoyles that are currently sitting on the top of two pillars on the outside of it. It pushes through almost magically through this wall and kind of zooms in to a all stone floor, stone wall, very bland kind of interior that's very low lit from the orange glow of a fireplace that's kind of smoldering out in the hearth. And they can see scrying now with the help of Aerith on a blue scaled dragonborn gentleman who sits in a hunched over a chair made of stone, but it is adorned with multiple furs on it. And as he sits kind of back, you can see this big tail that's bunched up, pushing the furs off of the chair and over the ledge. He rights himself a little bit, and as he clears his throat, he points. You can hear this kind of gristle from the back of this charcoaled and possibly electrically damaged esophagus. He's clears his throat and says, "So, who will you have on watch?" And everyone sees this other red kind of a shortened frame, scaled arms, scaled hands that come down into little pointed claws. The back hind legs are that of like a goat, and the feet are cloved and hooved. So you can see that there's multiple multiple hooves on the same foot that creates this like very gross looking kind of club. That is the bottom portion. The top portion is a little bit more humanoid, and the head is that of a goat. And it says, "Well, we have Tim on the patrol, and we have Scott down in the basement, and we have Ed over on the floor. So I think that is going to be pretty tight knit tonight. I don't think you have to worry about it." To which the Dragonborn kind of sits back in his chair, and now raising to his full height, you can see he is pretty tall. We're talking a good 7.5, 8 feet tall when he straightens out. His back extends over and past the back of the stone chair. You can see he's almost double the size of this chair. And he says, "Good. And do you think that they'll run any issues with the traps that we've laid out?" And he says, "No, boss, I think we're good." Excellent. And the scrying orb kind of snaps shut, and Aerith sits up and talks to everyone in the group. "So that's who you're going to be meeting tonight, so I just wanted to be transparent about that so you're not surprised. That is the good one. There are many bad ones. Don't hurt the good one. She puts her hand on Dahlia's shoulder and says, "Are you hungry?" And then looks to everyone else and says, "We're having food prepared."
Yes, thank you.
Wonderful. She takes your arm, not forcefully, but firmly, and begins to lead you in the direction of that staircase that you had seen when you had originally walked in, kind of careening past the mossy slate stones that line the garden spans here. Um, it is a fragrant garden, and as you pass a series of different snapdragons, you can see a whole bunch of little critters laced out in the grass here. Multiple white rabbits that run through the space here and kind of dodge through the grasses. You can see all different, a rainbow of different butterflies. We have different types of monarchs and some butterflies that don't look like anything that you have seen before. Big pink, vibrant wings that pull off into almost angelfish style trailings behind them. It's beautiful. You continue up these stairs and you find yourself in a very grand hallway. Roll a dexterity check. I'll have everybody roll a dexterity check, please. If you follow, everybody's starting to make the motion. It seems like as soon as Aerith says anybody does anything, all of the children follow knowingly. Reshi always takes the rear tailest end, keeping everybody together like a group.
Just a 6 dexterity.
Okay, great.
Manya would have immediately followed Dahlia, and that is a 11 for me.
Okay,
29
a 29.
with a nat 20.
Jesus.
Hell yeah.
Amazing. Fuck yeah.
Umbriel would also follow with a 17.
Okay, beautiful.
Kit would be following. I think she'd be much quieter than is characteristic of her,
Okay.
and probably trying to imitate more some of the other automatons that are nearby, because she knows that's what she's supposed to do. And that's a 21.
Amazing. I'll say for everybody who goes from a 19 or higher, you see the first two. So that would be anybody who was lower than that. Dahlia, standing next to Aerith, you feel her grab onto your arm. With that low of a roll, you feel as if your feet are swept out from under you, almost like a wind or a current just carried you. Looking down this long hallway gives you this sense of vertigo where the entirety of it begins to shift prismatically. And you can see all of the little candles and sconces that are on the walls begin to look like they're like flaring and flickering. This is some sort of tampering on this hallway that is disorienting in nature. For those of you who rolled high enough, you feel your feet on the ground. Everything stays firm. It just feels as if you're standing on firm ground and the rest of the room is rotating around you in a shifting way. You can feel as if almost the walls are rocking back and forth, creating this kaleidoscopic effect. It makes you feel a little bit like the gravitron, like you feel like you're stuck to the floor. So as you're walking, your legs are really heavy. It's like walking through pudding.
And she's still holding onto my arm, right?
Yeah, you would have outwardly like busted ass. I think that because Manya was close to you, would you grab onto her?
Yeah, but I rolled an 11, so I think I went down with her.
Amazing. I will say you both pull on Aerith and Aerith. Oh shit, let me roll for it. Let me roll for it because you know what? This is a thing.
You're making a
fuck.
great first impression with her, Dahlia.
All three of them, like a sack of shit, fall down. like domino effect, the weight of Dahlia and Manya pulling on Aerith at the same time just wipes her out and she side swipes. She creates this buffer so none of them actually hit the ground. It's almost like a little bubble effect of like so that just does like a bowling ball buffer so they don't bottom out, but they all slide in proportion. You watch as Reshi, uh, I call it shadow stepping, but it is very much akin to something that you know how to do, Marisol. As you watch, very Nightcrawler esque, he little tiny pieces of shadow trail behind him, and he is immediately at Aerith's side holding onto her arm before she can hit the ground. Aerith, fully capable, putting up with the buffer herself, but regardless, he snaps immediately right to her side and tries to take care of her from the rear.
Oh,
You see all of. Well, let me roll for that too. Hold on, because that's funny. Because now everybody's thrown off. Oh shit! Oh shit! You watch as as he holds on to Umbriel because her feet go a little sideways out from under her. And at the same time, you watch as Ryu holds Lova on his arm, like Lova goes to go fall down, and Ryu grabs and holds really, really strongly onto her. So everybody kind of does this weird wobble effect here, and you watch as Reshi looks at everyone and he's like, "You've got to be kidding me. We've been over this." He begins to grab everybody and like straight walk. I would say it takes people a minute to feel oriented enough to begin to walk again. So everyone kind of staggers there for a minute, and he's just like angry charging ahead.
Dahlia, I feel like you have Manya on your arm, like that drunk best friend. That's just like, I just love you so much, but she's like just not saying anything because she can't. But she is definitely like just like she has claw like hands. So I don't want to say she's like digging into you enough to like do damage, but she's definitely digging into you enough that you can probably feel that she's got some pretty long nails.
Okay, yeah, like I'll just like whisper to you, I'm like, I'm so sorry for knocking you down.
She just shrugs. Whatever.
As you guys continue down this long and prismatic style hallway, every turn that you take is disorienting. For anyone who is trying to keep track, I will say roll a nature check if you don't care about trying to like escape the way you came in type deal, don't sweat it. But if that's something that you know that you're about, I would say roll me a nature check on, or a survival check rather, on how to make sure that you're mapping this correctly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Dahlia, I don't want to say that you can't roll a nature check, but you do definitely hear like Manya like start to like clear her throat in your head because she wants to talk to you. So you can roll a nature check if you want to ignore me, but like whatever, bestie.
21.
Okay. Marisol, you're quick to pick up that this is something that is illusory, and you have a memory that floods back into your mind of the
Oh, God.
exact style of pathways that you used to walk. You hear your own footsteps, the loud clinking of your boots when you are walking assertively, when you are walking upset,
Okay.
just kind of stepping down the hallway and the echoing of what that would sound like by yourself walking from his room.
Okay.
You recognize where you are, though the layout feels flipped and backwards. And with that high of a survival check, I will say you have a very distinct note that you catch in the pattern of this illusion that you're able to see, where you are positive you would be able to trace your footsteps backwards. Anybody else? Okay. Manya?
I'm waiting for Dahlia to look at me. I don't know how you do it telepathically. It's probably stupid to do it telepathically, but she like does quite literally like you hear the sound of like clearing throat in your head.
Hey,
Okay,
hey,
yeah.
mom, mom, mommy, ma.
Yeah, I mean, my vision is still a little blurred, but I'll look over at you and what was the nature check for? Like, or do you want me to do an insight check to see if I like?
Oh,
For
she was only having people do a nature check if they wanted to keep track of like where we were walking to see if there was like an escape.
I feel
Yeah,
like
I
you ain't
wouldn't do
worried
that.
about escape. You're just like, oh, it's the goddess.
I'm happy to be there.
She's like, "Oh, I dropped my D20. Oh god, sorry. Oh, it's
how
gone."
low can you go?
What a meta thing to say.
There it is.
I
Wow,
got
that
it.
was amazing.
What?
That was amazing.
Oh.
I
They're
didn't
in
think
love,
you
Your
could get
Honor.
it.
What? I don't know what happened.
I didn't think that she could get it.
Oh.
It was big reach.
Anyway, I feel like Manya is still she's like using one arm to like hold on to you because now she's just used to this. She's like, "Oh, okay. Yeah. No one's held my arm for a while." So she's like holding on to your arm. Um and she like starts to do like finger movements that look cohesive. Um okay, so I'm going to pretend that we are like communicating with my hands so that way I don't get caught, but I like need you to do something for me. Can you do something for me?
Yeah, what is it?
Okay, so you know how like I mentioned like when I like saved you from the water and then I said that my stupid friend left, so now I'm talking to you and now you know my secret?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So my stupid friend was the one that was in the cage in Wit somewhere. Can you like ask Aerith like where she went? If she's
The
like
one that was
okay.
in the that got sent in the roller coaster out, was that?
Yeah, the insufferable tiefling. She's kind of hot, but she's insufferable.
Yeah, I can ask her.
Okay, cool. Cool. And
What will you
then
give me in return?
oh. Oh god, we're doing this? Are you serious?
You asked for a favor.
What do you want in return?
I haven't decided yet.
Okay. You do this. I'll do a favor for you as long as it doesn't endanger my life.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
He's clocking the one half of the conversation.
I'm like
That-
trying to whisper because she doesn't want people to know, like, but
Oh, well, do you have to? Yeah, you would have to, right? No, it's telepathic. You don't have
Mhm.
to say anything.
It's one-way telepathic, wasn't it?
that's what
don't
I thought.
remember. I
That
don't remember.
she can only talk in my mind, but I've been talking out loud to her.
Okay.
to-
All right. Well, then we'll keep it that way. We'll keep it that way.
Yeah, I don't remember the specifics,
I
but
don't remember either.
I think we made it similar to message, but like more advanced.
Right.
So yeah, she'd have to talk out loud.
Yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
not
Okay.
really, but yeah.
Put on some like quiet. We're doing sign language.
It's cohesive.
We're doing sign language. We promise it's real. Oh no, it's just the bad sign language interpreters at the
Yeah.
Makes
I'm
it
just
worse
making
if
up
someone in the
random.
party actually knows sign language and they're like, "What?
Yep.
Nonsense?
Yeah.
Are you making
That's-
fun of?"
That's gotta be wrong, right? That can't be what she means.
Well, that's why I'm just doing little finger things. I'm not even using like she's
Actual. Yeah.
yeah.
I get it. I get it.
And
Maybe
she
like Morse code on my arm, like tapping.
oh, that's
Happy taps.
that's smart
yeah, that's
too.
good.
Listen, no one asked for
Like, I would
performance
know
checks,
Morse code.
so we don't
So
know
you
how
might-
it looks.
You might do better with sign language imitation because I would clock a Morse code. It'd be like,
She's asking for help. What?
Listen, my
just
intelligence
saying
score is
SOS.
9, okay?
Oh, really? That's sad.
Not everyone
Me
rolled
too.
super well.
That's so funny.
I'm sorry. I'm derailing. Continue.
No, you're good. So Aerith continues down this long, kind of winding hallway, um, and you guys appear upon a dining hall.
Is Rushy
Um,
still in front with her, or did he return to his spot at the end of the group?
he is still at the front. It seems that that stumble has gotten him distracted.
And it seems like Aerith being in any sort of, not even danger, in any kind of uneasy situation would take his entire focus. Good to know. Good to know.
Yep. So,
Okay.
um, but you do have, so where you were in position, I would say keeping up the tail of where he was, you would have Ryu right there with Lova, as kind of the followings. Um, and then you guys continue into this long expanse. Through that, you find this big dining hall. It's a huge table, um, that is set exactly for the amount of people that it is needed for. You have all of the fine dining refineries in front of you, but the meal is something that is strange. There's almost a variety of things that are from cuisines from all over the world, and some of them just really don't mesh. So it's like if you were having sushi on the table with pasta on top of like arroz con pollo with as well as like, so it's just like the all delicious foods in their own right, definitely not prepared to be a cohesive meal. Just like if everybody was perfectly tailored dishes to what they would want to eat. Um, there's a little bit of everything. Um,
So this
and
brings
none
up
of it. Oh, gone.
sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say this brings up a question. When's the last time I remember eating? Is it something
Well,
we've had to do? Have we had hunger? Is it
it's the first time that you recognize in a long time that your mind has been on something other than just surviving and getting through the night.
interesting?
Uh, there's all sorts of a lot of foods that are soft foods, which seems strange to some of you. Like there's a lot of puddings and custards and soups and soufflés, um, as well as a lot of different types of pastries. You can see there's the whole end of the table is just dessert. So it's like, but it's all being served at the same time.
Mhm.
Um, and you are led to a series of seats, and everybody kind of just sits um, in a smattering of different places. The twins sit right next to one another. Um, so you see as Ryu and Essie sit next to one another, they pull out the chairs and they sit immediately plop next to one another. Um, Rushi takes the head of the table, and Aerith is seated right to his left hand side. Other than that, all of the rest of the seats are currently open. If everybody sits, you will see that there is one open seat. Someone has not joined you for dinner.
Probably sitting with the rest of the group.
Mhm.
Depending on, I guess, how everyone is sitting. Not sitting next to Reshi.
Okay. The way I imagine it is Reshi's at the head, Aerith is to his left. There's a bunch of open seats on this side. The furthest seats away that you can get is where Ryu and Essie sit. And then Verena is on the opposite side of her mother, probably. Other than that, everybody else is open seats. So there's quite a few that could be potentially in between people. And then there's some that are like right next to the, king and queen's area.
I think
Can I
it would
sit
be
by
next to
Aerith?
the empty chair.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would say that you would be across from her, and it would be on the opposite side of Reshi.
I would sit next to Dahlia.
Kit, where would you place yourself, just out of curiosity?
I think she'd be next to the empty chair.
Okay. And then for Umbriel, where do you think that she would place herself?
Wherever Lova is.
Excellent. I feel like Lova would sit with Ryu because I feel like the entire time they are just in constant conversation, like just talking battle facts with one another and like just spitballing about like, oh yeah, one time check out this scar and like scar comparing and then immediately just shooting the shit about like different types of battles and things that they have been in. So
I guess I ended up somewhere near Kit, near Umbriel.
okay. So you guys are all seated in front of these plates. And Aerith looks out at everybody at the table and says, well, eat your fill. This will definitely bode you well in the next leg of your journey. And if you have any questions for us, please do ask. I know this is an exciting and curious time for all of you.
My lady, we didn't get any of your names. May we know?
Yeah, you can know what we call each other here. Well, I am Your Royal Highness, and this is Your Majesty. And she gestures over to Rushi, and she does not give a actual name. You see, this is my daughter, the princess, and my son, my prince. And she looks over towards the twins over in the corner, and then she says, "And this is, well, how would you want to introduce yourself, honey?" And you see Verena looks at her mom. She's like, "Just stop." And she's like, "Well, if she cared to tell you her name, she would."
All right, thank you.
Oh, of course. And I already know all of your names, so I feel it's rude that I don't give myself the introduction. What name do you know me by? She asks you.
I can only guess, but are you Lyra?
There are some people who have said that, yes.
And I just smile really wide and I'm just excited.
Excellent. She gives you a very warm, kind of motherly, like pursed lips smile. She doesn't show teeth really. She doesn't ever really grin. You don't really see any sort of real happiness other than like a baseline level, very British royalty style. It's muted expressions. She does show a much warmer demeanor anytime that she talks to any of her kids or her husband. So she keeps this very like coy, and then as soon as she looks at them, you see her she kind of like melts a little, just a little bit, not enough to break the air of regalness, but definitely a warmness and like devotion to her family. And she's like, "So what are you waiting for? Dig in. I am curious. What kind of plates do you guys make? Do you eat big plates? Do you eat little plates? What would you go for? What kind of stuff would you grab? What are the meals? Because everything that you in your living life would have wanted to feast on is present for you."
I can't eat.
You don't eat anything?
I'm a robot.
Well, I know this, but you
Cannot
don't
eat.
you don't make any sort of like fake gesture to grab stuff or anything?
No.
Okay, awesome.
I think
I
she
love
might
that.
she might play with an empty teacup and like pretend to drink,
That
but
is so funny, and I love it. Like, oh yes,
it's a tea party.
that's amazing, and I love it.
is very hesitant and uncomfortable. Uncomfortable with the titles, uncomfortable with the premise. She's never been quite comfortable with any part of this. Um, However, she wouldn't say anything. She would start to eat. You'd see her reach for things that are maybe a little less expected. So thinking of like smaller birds that were roasted, or you'd see a dish of like burnt rice that she would be kind of drawn to. They look like, I wouldn't say poor foods, but they look like old foods. Like nothing with the amount of decadence or complicatedness that like a croissant would require.
Right. A lot of like easy steamed vegetables, a lot of heartier kind of things in that way.
Right.
Understood.
Manya,
I'm gonna look for. Oh, sorry. Do you want to go?
You can go. It's okay.
I'm gonna look for like a really decadent dish and like
Okay.
desserts, because I imagine at the temple we probably ate more plainly.
Yes. So, and here you would see all kinds of stuff. We're talking fruit tarts and sponge cakes and all sorts of like little chocolate lava looking cupcakes and fruits that are dipped in all sorts of variants of chocolates and yogurts and all kinds of stuff. There's all danishes and everything like that kind of stacked on this multi-tiered dessert table in the back of the table.
Mari has no idea what a cupcake is. She just
That's
didn't even like just glanced right over it.
that's so funny.
And I probably fill up my plate like a little too much because I'm like,
Okay.
ooh, I want everything.
Yeah. Perfect.
So
I love
cute.
that.
I think Manya
Umbria.
has a small plate of like fruits and vegetables. Like very, very much like avoids meats, but heavily avoids anything that's fish.
So there's no like human meat on the menu, because I feel like with the siren that might have been
There,
somewhere.
I would say that there's totally meats that are what one would consider questionable on the end of the table, and if people know or care to know what they are, if they're looking like a charcuterie board style thing, there are options of different types of folk flesh.
I've eaten folk flesh, but I was just thinking.
Not
No,
Manya.
no folk flesh for you. Okay.
No.
Mari would eat it in certain circumstances, but she hasn't yet, or
Okay.
hasn't needed to. Hasn't seen it as like, we're starving and someone's dead or some monster's dead. Do it. Are you sure it's sanitary? Looks questionable to me.
It's fine, honey.
Umbriel, what would your plate look like?
Um, would most likely look like a charcuterie board, just like you got fruits, cheeses, breads, like little slices of like
Light
meats.
pickings, finger
Yeah,
foods,
Girl dinner.
girl
girl
dinner.
dinner,
Mm.
girl
Girl
dinner,
dinner.
Lunchables, whatever.
Hey, so cute. I feel like Lova doesn't eat a lot, but what she does eat is rich things, lots of proteiny type things. Reaching for heavy cheeses, lots of bigger
She's concerned about
roasted
those
meats.
macros,
Yeah.
that
So
growth.
so definitely bulk food in my mind. Things that are going to be lean and bulky. So um, you see everybody who is of royalty fills their plate to about the same amount. Essie's plate is full of sweets. Ryu's plate is full of meats. Um, Aerith has a very small plate of light vegetables, and a couple of like grilled chickeny type pieces and a small piece of fish. You would see that Reshi has an entire plate, like a disgusting plate of starches. It is nothing but starches. He has potatoes and corns and breads and like pastas and everything like that stacked on itself.
I don't know nearly enough about Reshi to say this, but I imagine he's like, I'm gonna have potato bread. I'm gonna take mashed potatoes and put it on bread. Make a sandwich.
Yes, 110%. He's like he's a go to the kitchen and eat the leftovers from Thanksgiving like over and over again and not get sick of it. Like really like it every time. It's like
Stuff it in my
gross.
belly.
Hot dogs and mac and cheese.
Oh, dude, yes, that's a staple.
Gosh.
That's a Kayla staple. So 100%, yeah, that's my character. Fuck yeah, he's eating hot dogs and mac and cheese for sure. 100%, and worms and dirt for dessert.
Potatoes.
So, but he stacks his plate and you watch as he's very doting the entire dinner. Anytime that her cup gets low, he fills it to the top. Anytime that she like looks like she's doing like almost too much, he's like very on top of things.
Yeah, I'm clocking
Um,
that too.
yeah. So, you see Essie and Ryu almost pretend like no one else is there. They just are joking with each other and tearing it up and talking about just. Do you remember that time that we filled Mom's bathing suit with those like little invisible things, and he starts laughing, and then they like spit stuff out a little bit, and like they're just being kids. They're just being like dumb kids, um, and just conversing and joking with one another.
And all the kids, they're like teenagers except for oh, what's her name?
Verena. Oh no.
Verena,
Oh
who's
no.
who's a little older.
Yeah, Verena is probably like it, if we're talking human years, what would be the vicinity of like in her 23rd, 24th year maybe. Um the Ryu and Essie are probably, if we're talking human years, closer to like they're 18, 17 and 18 kind of looking. Really youthful in the face. Um young, definitely still young kids. But not prepubescent looking or anything like that. So,
Okay.
and then I would say Reshi looks like he is sitting at an easy 34. Um, and Aerith looks like she is sitting at an easy maybe 37. She looks older than he does, just ever so slightly. Sorry, honey. It's the fact that he's a Fey King. He's young
It's
forever.
okay. I don't have to be explained to me.
So, um, yeah, so she's looking a little bit older than him, but not by much, and definitely not old. Definitely not old and like not old enough to have kids that look like they're like this old. So it's a little bit strange. Their faces are all still incredibly youthful.
I
So.
get the feeling that they're older than me, right? Like that's obvious.
Well,
90.
yeah, roll a check. Roll a nature
sure.
check, or yeah. You know what? Roll a nature check for me, just because I want to know. How good are you at this guessing game? It's totally different than hunting something.
Let's see. I am not so bad. That's a 15.
That's a carnival game. Yeah, I would say that they look about the same age, if not a little older than you.
Oh. Changes the game a little bit. Cool.
So you're definitely dealing with peers at the very least, if not elders.
Then again, I could be older. Who knows how long I've been here? Which
Precisely.
means I probably got here before they got here. Which means their position isn't permanent. So conniving. I'm just trying to get information. I have nothing.
They sit at the table and everybody continues to eat and feast and make merry. You do see that Rushy looks over at Verena and pesteringly asks, "Where's your brother? Why didn't you tell him to come down for dinner?" To which he responds, as if he's ever fucking come down for dinner. Do you think he's going to come down tonight? What makes you think that he's going to come down tonight as if he's come down any other night? I'll bring him up his plate. Relax. And Rushy's like, it's just strange. I just don't understand why he doesn't want to hang out with us.
You hear in your head, Dahlia. I wonder what the brother looks like. You think he's just as hot?
Probably.
Do you just say probably out loud? Just out of nowhere?
And I try to make the hand signals, but it's like a second too late.
Oh, that is so funny. Hold on. Hold on, I'm clocking it. Oh, that was a natural fucking 20 for one of them.
Oh.
And a 5 for the other. You see as Reshi is like, exactly, that's what I'm talking about. We're referring to you saying probably, and you watch as Aerith goes and says nothing.
I try to whisper it, and then when he like addresses me, I'm like wide-eyed. I'm like,
Do I notice that Aerith like made a face like a?
I'd say with a natural 20, no. She very specifically catches eyes with Dahlia for a fleeting moment, and then it's gone. It's subtle. It's subtle enough that it's almost like a okay, real recognize real moment. So
and I just shove a big spoonful of food in my mouth and look down.
He's like she like starts pouting. It, like her tone is very obviously changed. Ugh, this is so dumb. I can't talk to anyone. I can't even talk to you technically because you're just talking to your food now.
I just like give you a look at the corner of my eye, and I'm like shrug.
And I want to say that she's being sneaky, but I think it's just so obvious that she is now just like shoving like fruit in her mouth, pouting.
I would like to do one piece of retcon. I apologize. It was something that I overlooked when I was thinking about it, but I just thought about it now. Manya, would you please roll me a d20? And it's a perception check that I'm looking for.
Okay. And then my perception.
Just because what you just said now jostled my brain back to a moment ago.
That is a 25.
Okay. That's huge. You would see on the side of Verina's like when you had all walked in and were seated around that entire orb and scrying in on that scene, you would have seen that Verena had walked in with an instrument and placed the instrument down in that area. It was small, kind of stringed instrument, but you would know that it has magical properties.
Is it an instrument that I've seen before?
Yes, it's an instrument that she normally keeps on her at all times, but it seems after bringing it in home, she like sat it down like if it was like books after work type thing, and dropped it in the garden place.
Like, so it's not in this room with us, but it's in the garden.
No, but it is in the garden. And you like, I would say you would have clocked it, seen it, noted that it was there, and then when everybody was walking away, I would like to retcon and let that be something that happened for you, because that is something that she would have done. She normally brings it home with her, and doesn't leave it in the pit with all of the other things because it is of magical essence.
Is it golden?
With that high of a roll, I will say, yeah, you could tell that it has some gold on it.
Does it bring me back any memories?
I will say, seeing it made you feel a splash of water type feeling come over you, like if you were being hit by a wave. And I would say that you just had the like heart pang in your chest that like you kind of wish you had that like it is something that you desire, that you saw and it was an immediate like I know that that is for me. Like that is mine.
Okay. Dahlia, I feel like if she could speak out loud, we would probably be the annoying people at the table, or at least we would look like that couple that like I never shut up and you are just like so sick and tired of me. Um, you would hear in your head again. So correct me if I'm wrong, but when I asked you for a favor, you seemed like someone who I don't want to call you distasteful, but you probably hung around distasteful people. Would you want to do something fun later?
I don't know what you're implying, but sure.
Okay. If we can get away, we should try to get away a little later. I would like to smell the flowers. It's been a very, very long time since I've seen a flower, let alone smell one. In the garden that we were in, I'm sure they would let us go back. Surely, if we just want to hang out.
Okay.
Okay. You have to ask, of course, or
Perception
we could just sneak. Up to you.
to see if I notice them talking to each other.
Oh yeah, you definitely can roll a perception check. I am also going to have Reggie roll again just to see. Okay. All right. Fair.
13?
A 15,
13.
a 13. I would say you don't clock it, but you see Reshi calls straight attention to it. Okay. Okay, those potatoes are good, aren't they? They're delicious. The best you've ever had, I presume. Do you feel my magic washing over you? You know, this is inspiring. This feast. Maybe you don't know, but this feast, this is for you. And he gets up on the table a little bit more and he's like, this is for all of you, the chosen. This is a hero's feast. All of you can put a hero's feast on your character sheet. You have partaken in the dinner this evening.
Manya has an RBF literally the entire time, but she also can't hide her own emotion. So as he's doing all this, she's looking at him like, the fuck is wrong with him?
I'm just politely nodding along and then I'm looking over at Eric.
It like, I feel like Manya actually probably looks similar to Verena in this moment.
Verena and Manya both are staring at him with deadpan face of like, ew. Meanwhile, Aerith is looking at him like, honey. I feel like as he's looking at him like, Dad. Meanwhile, Ryu's looking at him like, Dad. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The weird family, and I just want to go home.
They're so weird. They're such a weird family. They only have themselves and weird twisted souls to hang out with them at a fucked up circus. They got real strange down here.
I'm glad my son was never this weird.
That's fair.
I mean, no,
Nope, don't. Don't go there.
I won't.
So I am going to call a break real quick. We are going to do a quick potty break, and then we will be right back on the air with all of you. I hope you are enjoying it so far, and we will be right back to you. Excellent. Welcome back, everybody. So we'll just pick right back up. We are seeing everybody partake in a meal, and Aerith will also clear her throat and say, so, no questions. Dinner with a god and no questions.
You get nudged, Dahlia, with like my elbow.
As you mentioned, what awaits us in it?
Well, a couple of things. A prize in the center that we are all seeking. a chance to win a small bet that we all have with one another. And, you know, a couple of dragons and dragon folk, some storms, some bad winds, possible elementals, possible chaos, demons, things of that nature. Nothing that you couldn't handle, I presume. He wouldn't have picked you otherwise. And she looks over at Reshi, and he looks over in your direction, and he just grins.
I just don't even look at him. I'm looking at Aerith, and I just
Okay.
don't even acknowledge it. It just I probably am the most unwilling champion
I
in a
love it.
while, because I
I love it.
assume my assumption sitting here with this feast, with Reshi doing what he's doing, this is not the first time. It will not be the last time. I have been degraded to tonight's entertainment. That's what this is. Anyway,
Your Highness,
Yes.
um, can I talk to you after the feast?
Well, yes. Though there's nothing you can't say to me that you can't say to all of us. We'll gossip behind your back later either way, so
Your family is welcome to join us, but I don't know the others.
understood. I appreciate that in a woman. Absolutely. We will discuss this later. She gives you
Thank you.
a nod, and Rashi's like, I'm coming. I'm going to come too. I want to know. And she's like, okay. Just kind of shrugs at him and is like, okay.
well, we know this prize in the center when we see it.
Oh, yes, I've shown it to you. Uh, and you see in her hand an illusory. It almost looks like the size of a really elongated light bulb, the double coiled kind that have the similar archways on either side. It's clear glass, and in the centermost part of it, it seems that there's something flickering and moving on the inside of it. Um, it is sitting currently on like a pillow in this imagery. It looks like clear, thin glass, like it is very fragile, and appears to be putting off or emoting some sort of light.
Mhm.
Everybody who has an intelligence above or an intelligence or an arcana above 17, um, would think that this looks like part of some sort of magic chamber, like something that is made to conceal or to hold a amount of energy. It's like a magic chamber. The the to the to a likes that you're not familiar with. It's a weird shape for such, but like it is the most akin thing that you can imagine as to like a battery, but for magic.
What were those checks again that you said?
Arcana or intelligence above 17.
Okay.
Otherwise, it would just look like a weird light bulb. You're not really sure what it is.
That's passive, right? We're not rolling it. You said
Correct.
passive. Yeah.
That yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, as she shows you this imagery, it is going to sound like a bunch of bullshit if I do it. But to somebody who is capable and knows a lot about electrical engineering, Reshi goes on a small info dump about the ways in which a battery works, the polarization, and the idea of booting up a machine of a great proportion. And he says, but you know, that's always done on a smaller scale. What we need is one of these, but way bigger. So what we're going to do is, and she's like, honey, just enough.
You know what's hilarious? I myself as Allie know a bajillion things about electrical engineering. And Madi goes, "What's a battery?" Not out loud, but
Um,
Madi has
he's-
no idea what he's
he
talking
starts to just spit babble about mechanisms that are greater than most people can understand, talking about currents, ley lines, and harvesting
about.
of
What does water have to do with this? I don't
and ether and all kinds of stuff, and just starts to info dump, to which as soon as it really starts to get tangent-y, like as soon as he's like, and that the way that that's connected is really the most miraculous thing about all of it is it all starts off at and Aerith and Verena and Ryu and Ezzy all at the same time are like, Dad, enough. And she's like, honey, please just stop.
I was looking at him, but my eyes went glassy because I
Oh,
couldn't
yeah.
get it.
Oh, yeah. The amount of knowledge is just like little, Pythagorean theorems going off into the background.
I'm like
the only thing
twirling
that
a
Madi
fork.
pulled from that, the
I'm
only
sorry.
thing, that Madi pulled from that is, oh, there's some sort of energy. Maybe it's like magical energy, and maybe I can sense it. That's about it.
What were you saying, Manya?
I'm just like twirling a fork. She didn't listen. She
Perfect.
said, "Oh God."
Kit, I would say roll me an intelligence check with advantage.
Oh, I'm so good at those.
I don't know
I
if that-
got 3 both times.
No
No.
fucking way.
Modified to a 2.
A modified what?
2.
2? Great.
Yeah.
That's 22 altogether, because that's how math.
Yeah,
works,
that's absolutely how it works.
You
That's what advantage means.
you feel your heart start to race a little bit. This is the types of conversations that you hear Azeroth having in his room. These are the types of conversations that start to make you feel unimportant. Because when he starts to get on these type of tangents, you guys stop hanging out. And he doesn't really have time for you because he's too busy tinkering and playing with other things. And he's just like, listen, you don't understand, Kit. It's just every time that you move these mechanisms, it just interrupts the energy flow and then it disrupts the signal that's being. And you take one of those points right back
Yep.
as he starts to talk about this. And you kind of start to have a blackout moment focusing on what is not being said, but a memory of yours from a prior uncomfortable time.
Not
think-
to be a rules lawyer, Carly, but technically, the Hero's Feast wouldn't like take your sanity points away until after we finish it. So you could totally have a breakdown if you wanted to.
Oh, you could.
You
could have
totally
a
could.
breakdown until
You
If
after.
I
still have your
wanted
points.
to.
If you wanted to. I mean, we could hand wave it away with like rule of cool if you didn't. But if you did, you totally could. Just letting you know.
So, I mean,
DM's
rules
pet.
as written, that would be my last sanity point right
That's
there.
what I'm saying it's your
Um,
choice. Because
I will leave it up to our
I
dear
would say,
DM.
let's roll for it. Let's roll and see if it go one way or the other.
See, I wanted to hand you the choice. Now I feel like I'm taking it away. Whoops.
2.
I appreciate it.
2. I will say we'll leave it the same as it was. We'll leave it the same as it was, and you just now take one more point of it, kind of doing blackout tunnel vision. So,
Okay. I would also say that just instinctually, she probably records him talking about it.
okay. Awesome. I hate to do this while we are like in the process because I don't think that we defined it ahead of time. Is there a any we said that there's like almost like a verbal somatic component to this, right? Like a little blinking light or something like that that pops off when she starts to do this, correct?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember. I don't know
Okay.
that we actually said.
Okay. We
The
will
red light over her eyes.
Yeah, just like a small little like recording button just seems hilarious to me, but we don't have to do it. We don't have to if you don't want to.
We
But
are
that
not
is
recording.
that is so funny. Maybe not even an announcement, but just like a small like blip. It turned on. If anybody was super perceptive, maybe they would see it, but probably not.
My passive.
You know what? I've no machines are a foreign concept to me. I totally
Right.
would have
You
noticed.
wouldn't
I was
even
like,
know.
and now it's glowing.
You would see a little blinking light, and that's it, just like a little blip. And
It
what
would
does that
turn on.
mean?
It would just turn on and it wouldn't I don't even think it would blink because I think that would draw attention to it. I think it would just be like one of those like we're live, but like a little red button in the corner. It's off somewhere off of the blue glow, so it kind of stick in anyway, but it is outwardly like, oh, this is on. Mic check.
My passive perception is a 29.
Oh fuck.
How
Um
is passive 20?
Damn.
yeah, I mean I guess you could see it glowing underneath the armor there if that's the case. Because is it because of expertise? How is your passive 29?
Probably expertise.
Because your what is it? Your proficiency gets doubled, which would give you +8. And then I'm assuming you have a 5 in wisdom, or a 20 in wisdom.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
would be +13. Your passive starts at
10?
10. I was gonna say I see 23. I don't know how you got all the way up to 29. Anyway,
No,
sorry,
it's
go
a
ahead.
9. I had to make sure because I got contacts in, so I was like, well, maybe. Hold on. No, it's a 9.
I trust you. I don't know how it got there, but fuck if it's a 29. Even if it's a 23, a small light like that clicking on would be noticeable.
Would it would it look similar to like something about to blow up?
No, it would just be like she already has this kind of like low
Mm-hmm.
blue undulating light. It would just almost look like a tiny little differentiation real quick that just pops off of like her collarbone area.
Mm. Okay.
So she doesn't say anything, you just see she has the smallest shift in color in her lighting, and that's it.
Okay.
Uh, Ezzy kind of looks over to all of you after looking and talking to Ryu and Lova and say, so how did you all die? And to which Aerith is like, honey, that's not very kind to ask. I don't think that most of them know. To which Reshi is like, if they don't know, they wouldn't be here. They absolutely know. Maybe they don't know why, but they know how. And Ezzy is like, yeah. And Ryu's like, yeah. And like, if you picked a badass warrior, then they died in battle. So it should be self-explanatory. Uh, to which Verena says, if you picked a badass one, they don't have to tell you how they died because they deserved it. They all kind of bicker over one another. And she's like, so I'm just curious.
I think I would answer her because I revere these people, so I'm like, I gotta do what they say. So
Fantastic.
I would I would address her. I'd be like, Princess, I believe I drowned.
Oh, that is so scary. I definitely wouldn't want that. Out of all of the ones, I think that's the one I would not want the most. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's tragic. And he's like, and Ryu's like, it's not even that bad. Just flat delivery. It's not even that bad. I mean, cool. What about you? And he looks over at you, Manya, who hasn't said anything at all this dinner.
Um. I think she kind of just like points at her throat like this and shrugs.
I don't think he knows how to interpret that. I think he just looks at you and outwardly just draws back, just as like a.
She probably
Anything to throw him off.
He does it too. He goes. I think he is. Roll me an insight check.
I think because he's like a kid, she probably actually finds that kind of endearing and just like probably smiles. Insight? Okay. Oh, my insight isn't great. 14.
You see, he looks almost special interest in you as he's like zooming in on your features. And as you touch your throat, he does this on his cheek and rubs whatever is kind of poking through the skin there. And he's like, "Are you a dragon too?" You're gonna throw up? Oh, I know. It's too much food. Entirely too much food. Leave this one alone. She's sick.
She full on face palms. And I think that she, like, I don't think she means to, like, do it hard, but she, like, jabs into you, Dahlia, for help.
And yeah, I'll like look at you and I'll get a little startled and I'll be like, "Oh, I can translate for her," and I'll just start.
No way. Roll, and here it is. Here it is, folks. The moment we've all been waiting for. Let's call these fake ass sign language interpreters out. Let's go. Roll me a performance check.
Can I
With
do deception?
disadvantage, I think. Oh, you know what? Yes, I'll let you do deception or performance. Either way, it's with disadvantage because you guys are trying to interpret what the other one is going to do. So you're like, oh yeah, oh no, like as you're trying to sign and match it up, you are playing off of each other's energy. Let's see how it goes.
DM question.
Yeah,
do
go on.
I know how I died?
I don't think you remember.
Okay.
I think that you have the hazy memory of like violence happening. So like brutality. But not the exact moments of who and how and why. Just the getting beat up by multiple people at a time.
Okay.
11 deception.
11 deception. Wonderful. Okay.
Oh, was I rolling too?
Oh yes.
Oh,
Oh,
disadvantage
yes.
as well?
Performance or deception at disadvantage. Yes, please. I would like to see you guys do mimes together. Go on.
Okay. With disadvantage, it is a 28.
Get the fuck out of here.
Damn it.
I'm sorry.
How a 28?
I have expertise.
Oh my god. This is slutty. That's a ridiculous number.
I'm sorry.
I have expertise in that too, but I rolled a 5.
No.
Oh, see, I rolled good even at disadvantage. I had a high number.
I forgot disadvantage. What if it's lower? Let me see.
Oh
Oh my god, please be lower. Please be insanely good at faking it and then have somebody who's obviously in the front like,
No, 5's the lowest. Okay.
okay. It seems convincing on one end, and the other end you're like, are they actually talking? Or is she just doing stuff? Like, what is she doing? And I would say somewhere in between the middle of that is insane. Like, what is the median number there between those two numbers?
She's like, no, Dahlia, the same movements. What are you?
One
God.
of you is outwardly tapping, and the other one is trying to do hand signals. So,
Sorry,
you-
Infernal's my first language. Common's my second.
that's so funny. That is
That's so
funny.
cute. That's so
That's
cute,
so
actually.
funny. Rushy starts speaking straight infernal.
I know it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, slamming. Okay, great. He's like, oh, really? I'm also skilled in the tongue. Fantastic. You're going to need it here for sure. In fact, that might give you an advantage. Maybe I should have went with you. Just joking. I'm happy with my choice. But like starts just spitting off and it just sounds like and so it just looks like he is spitting and like causing like the harshest throat sounds in the middle of talking infernal at the dinner table.
Oh man, I was hoping he would talk in Draconic because I knew that one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not me.
Yeah, I'm just nodding along at him and I'm like, yes, sir, back in
Yeah,
Infernal.
just being real proper with it. That's so funny. And he's like, "Oh, that's so cool. It's been a while since I got to practice."
Eventually, she just like shakes her head and she's like, oh, God, just tell the kid that I can't speak. That I'm mute.
Yeah, and I look back at you and I'm trying to do it again and I'm like, so
No.
she can't speak and it's a little I'm sorry.
She can't speak. I see, he says, and he's nodding and he's looking at her fins and he's looking at you and then he's looking at the fact that she was doing totally different types of signaling than you and he's like, "You guys are weird." He is not my bright boy. My bright boy's in a tower somewhere else. This is my not so bright boy. We love him all the same.
Oh God.
And he's like, "So, do you choose not to talk, or can you? Did you never learn? I'll teach you. I could teach you if you want."
And I think she like just looks at him just like absolutely flabbergasted because who would choose not to talk? And I think that she like to be like very honest with this child because I think that she probably thinks that oh he's like really tall, but like this with the mindset he has to be at least 12. And so I think she like tries to make a noise, but it's like very raspy and like very low.
So all of you at the table would just hear this like, uh, 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 as she tries to speak, and no words come out at all. And he's like, "That's cool."
This might be a grotesque question. Does it sound like her throat was slit?
Uh, Yeah, as someone who has as much experience in battle as you do, it outwardly sounds like someone like ripped out her vocal cords, that she has nothing there.
Oh.
It's like the sound of like
That
barely
Allie know what someone sounds like without
yeah.
her, throat. But
Yeah, it's the reverb is really high in the throat for her. And it just sounds like only a littlest bit of sounds coming out. There's not much throat behind it at all.
okay.
Um they look over at you, Umbriel, and they said, "So, what did you do? Anything fun?"
I am.
Oh, trigger warning
Do we
for
have to do
anybody.
this? I don't
know.
know. What are you gonna say, Cruz?
And say I don't know what happened
Okay.
Potential
because I'm
trigger
still a
warning.
little. I'm a little fuzzy yet.
Okay. Um. Oh. Well, that's not fun.
I know. I'm not that interesting.
Well, I wouldn't say that, as he says. And they say, I mean, out of all of us, you have the best aura, for sure.
My aura?
Oh, yes.
What's that?
You know, you just, your natural arcane. I can see it all around you.
She's just sitting there, like, looking surprised, like, that she has arcane, like, potential to her. Because this is still, I'm assuming, is still locked away in her memories.
Mm-hmm. She's just staring at you and she says, "Oh, yes, you have somebody on your side, but they're not of like the regular pantheon. I don't think. I mean, you definitely don't seem like you belong here. To which Aerith goes, Ezzy, enough.
Ezzy more.
Do you say that?
Yes.
That's so funny. Aerith shoots kind of like a daggering look, but doesn't stop you from speaking, or her. To which Essie goes, "Oh yeah, what? Do you think that they get it right every time?" And to which Reshi goes, "Essie, enough." And she goes, "I'm not just gonna lie to the person that I picked as my champion. Come on, Dad, I am smarter than that." Uh, and he says, "You are too smart, and you need to mind your tongue before I mind it for you."
Ooh.
And she stiffens and stops talking, and Ryu puffs up like a peacock a little bit, like what are you gonna do, Dad? Kind of bolstering of the chest in front of his sister. So,
Aw.
he's hardcore big brother vibes for her. So, and he's younger than her by a half a second. It's like, he's like, I'm
Half
the
a
biggest
second.
brother. Oh yeah, I mean they happen quick, one right after the other, two peas in a pod.
Just bazooka out of there.
Yep, shot out like cannonballs.
Oh God.
Boom! Baby explosion. Sorry. Okay.
I just want to
Um,
go to the garden.
you guys are essentially picking off the last of your plates. And you see Ezzy says, "We'll talk more later." Um, over to you, Umbriel. Uh, and immediately, within a fraction of a second, you see as Reshi is behind her and pulling her chair out from behind her with her still in it, with enough force to physically move the chair back with her still in full seating. Ryu does jump to his feet, but stands down um, as he's like, "To your room now, Esmeralda."
The full government name. Oh no.
And she walks out of the room. As soon as he lets that slip, you see Aerith shakes her head and leaves the table. She like gets up mad. Um, she turns back around before leaving the room and addresses all of you broadly with her arms. Make yourselves at home. We see everything, so don't be surprised. And don't fuck this up for yourselves. I have to go talk to my husband. Uh, and he looks at her and blinks a couple of times, and she begins to walk away from him into that long, crazy looking hallway. You watch as you see both of them proceed out through those doors, and the way that it starts to shift and look, it looks almost like they particleize and are elsewhere now. You guys are left here in this chamber to your own devices. Um,
Are we alone
as
now, or the other siblings are still here?
the other sibling, the only one here right now that is still picking at her plate and not eating anything, but like just literally moving food around on her plate with like one long kind of monster like tiger claw, just like poking this meat that's really rare on her plate, and like mushing it around in the leftover juices and blood. Um, she's the only one there, and she's got her feet up on the table now as she kind of fucks around with her plate and looks at all of you. She's just observing.
Mm.
She's the only one that's down here now, as the others have gone to their room. As soon as Essie gets scolded, she begins to storm off like a baby, like a big child, and Ryu's like, "Come on," and tries to like run behind her because looking at his dad, he obviously is like, "You just upset her." And it's kind of like a little family spat that happens real quick.
Mm.
And you are left in here, and you see Verena is just staring at all of you. Not saying anything, not doing anything, just kind of moving the food around on her plate.
Before we got here, you mentioned speeding this along. Does this happen often?
You know, you guys had all the opportunity to ask a lot of questions, and I'm not really the one that likes to answer them, so I think you kind of fucked up there, to be honest with you. But I'll be nice, I guess. Yes, us playing with souls happens all the time. You guys aren't special, if that's what you're worried about. She then proceeds to tell you, you know, the other thing about it is, no, this doesn't happen all the time. So I guess in a way, you are interesting.
Well, Dahlia, I hope you're better at sneaking than you are performing, because I didn't think that there would be another person still in here.
I don't reply to you because now I'm unsure if I should. So I'm just like, I just kind of like stare at you a little too hard, and
And I let me actually read this first. So if someone else has like a roleplay moment, go ahead.
Is it? I only had the one more question.
Um, do, 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 do.
Were we told like where to go to sleep? Do we sleep?
No, you guys are just left to your own devices to explore. To be honest, you have the entirety of this castle that you are welcome to explore.
Does it look like my castle?
Yes.
Like eerily like my castle?
Yeah, I would say that with how high of a perception you rolled, even just walking through like the illusory hallways, like it's almost too much of a parallel for you to ignore that it looks like the same bones, different decorations.
so I'm gonna tap Manya and just kind of gesture back to the hallway and like kind of like let's go.
Okay. Um, as we start walking away, I'll touch your arm and cast telepathic bond.
Awesome.
Go.
Sick.
I believe it prudent we work together tomorrow. This is It's clear they mean this in the spirit of competition. I'm not sure how many of you could fell a dragon, or a demon, or a fiend, or any of the other creatures she mentioned lie in the maze by yourself. Nor should you need to.
To which Loba speaks up and she says, "Speak for yourself."
I did.
I could definitely fell a dragon. Or a ghoul, or a beast, or a demon. I do think we should band together. I'm not saying anything like that, but just know you're not the only capable one.
Apologies if that's what it sounded like. I only meant that we would be stronger together, and we do not know yet what faces await us inside.
I would agree.
Clearly, none of us are infallible. We've all died. We're all here. Let's
Uh,
not.
I think that is one of those moments where everybody would kind of look around at each other. Who has scars that you can see? Sorry to interrupt.
Mine would be hidden.
Okay.
My death scars, at least.
Mm-hmm. Would anybody have taken extra precaution to hide or show? Is I guess what I'm trying to ask here.
My outfit is very head to toe, like almost full covered,
Mm-hmm.
so you wouldn't be able to see much of my body besides my face.
Okay.
I think a lot of my scars probably mixed in with my scales.
Okay.
I'm a robot.
But aren't you a little banged up, right? Weren't you looking a little rough as a robot? Right?
Just a little dirty.
A little dirty. You could take a little cloth, wipe her
Well,
off.
spit shine won't finish.
A little like somebody who just ran through the woods.
I fell asleep in the woods for a little
Yeah,
unextended
just
period
took a
of
little
time.
nap.
Like a lawnmower left out there for a season. Nothing major.
Yeah.
Okay, I just was trying to clock if any of your guys' scars would be like being worn proudly. So,
Be a little too naked for that.
right.
As I imagine Lova would have to be.
As well, yes, correct. Hers is chest caved in kind of circumstance, so. But you may continue. I apologize for interrupting.
No, that was pretty much it. We should stick together. The nature is to compete, but we don't know what awaits us in there. We've all died. Let's band together, be stronger for it.
Understood.
That was the gist.
I'm pretty sure I'm used to a team, so if you, Dahlia, would like to team up, you can tell them that we both agree.
Yeah, I'll give you a look, and then stupid hand gesture again.
No, no, you can talk in my head now. It's okay.
I know, but I have to tell. Like, if I'm speaking for you, and I'm like arguing with you in our head, like
Oh,
not out
God,
loud
yeah.
in our head now.
That is so funny. No, I'm keeping up the ruse. You have to do the ruse.
And it's just like,
Like,
it's just
no.
so like half-assed. Like, God, okay, whatever.
Yeah, so I'll pretend to understand what she says, and then I'll address Mary and everyone. Uh uh she agrees to help. I'm more of a helper when I want to be, so maybe.
It doesn't matter. You're all gonna die anyway.
We're already dead.
Right. So, I mean, band together and find it, or win and find it. She just looks over in your direction, Manya, and she says, I don't care who you have to trick. I just hope you win. And she walks out of the room, her heels kind of clanking behind her.
I just get complimented.
She's just telling you to win any means necessary.
Was that a
Well-
threat?
The worst team is the team of people who aren't genuinely invested in each other. At least a little bit. So, make your choice either way, but make a choice.
Kit, will you roll me a, let me say, a wisdom saving throw at this point in time?
Uh-oh.
Oh!
That's a 14.
A
You have
14.
advantage, by the way, from the hero's feast.
I do not.
The 14 sticks, and I will say you have that same feeling of somebody watching or listening in on your conversations. Just that big brother moment of someone is always watching kind of washes over you.
Is it familiar to me
Yeah.
in the way that like I know who's watching?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you? Mari would look at Umbriel.
Me?
Yes.
What do you want with me?
I was suggesting to the group that we travel together. Face our adversaries together.
I mean, I don't really have any other choice, so sure, yeah, I'll
Sure, there's a
I'll
choice.
travel.
be adversaries.
But I don't want to. I don't want to, though.
Excellent.
I feel like Lova would stand behind you, Umbriel, and just be like, "Don't worry, whatever we face, we'll face together."
I want to go up to Umbriel and just kind of excitedly, I'm like, did the princess say you were also touched by the divine?
She mentions like having some sort of magical aura. I'm not sure like who or what or why or any of that.
Oh, so you didn't follow a god in life?
You know, I I honestly don't know. It's still all fuzzy up in here. I can't. I don't know much.
Okay, sorry.
I would say roll a religion check for me, Umbriel.
Legend. Fuck. Okay, 24.
Hell yeah.
24.
Uh-huh.
As she asks if you remember following a goddess in life, you remember a flood of memory comes over you, seeing a series of tarot cards that are laying face down in a cross type shape.
Ooh.
Um, you watch as somebody off to the distance, who you can see in just shadow figure, rolls a has a cup in their hand and shakes the cup back and forth and throws them, and you see they roll bones on the ground, um, and they have these little notches in them, and they pick them back up, and then they change them out to stones, and they roll them in
Mm.
the cup again and roll them out onto the ground, and the stones have varying lines and circular drawings on them.
Mm-hmm.
And it sticks to you in your mind as something that you remember growing up and watching from being a kid, a
Hmm.
familial inheritance in your life. The art of seeing, and you remember your family following closely oracles of a past time. Um,
Ooh.
they sit around and they are all discussing the potentiality of a cataclysmic event that won't take place in our lifetime, but will be on the
Okay.
horizon. And your memory floods back to you, and you are staring back at Dahlia, and you just see around her almost like little tiny nebulas that kind of eke out behind her as you are looking in this space and having this memory. Like your eyes glaze over, and you just see a little bit of twilight stars kind of shine behind your periphery.
Hey, guess I am special.
I'll just smile at you.
Uh, I would say in this moment as well, the light outside that was kind of coming in through all of the windows that sit in this space, the illusory sunshine, looks like it is setting to a later time of day.
Mm-hmm.
There's kind of a purple glow that begins to come in through the window, backlighting it with this little bit of neon-y kind of pink that hits up onto the top of the ceilings here.
Dahlia, we have to go before it gets too dark and she's gone. So I want to make sure I get there before, hopefully, she doesn't.
Okay, do you want them to come with us?
I mean, I feel like it's easier if it's a stealth mission. You don't. They can come, but they have to be quiet.
It's your choice.
Mm. Tell them that we're going to the garden, and they may come if they would like, but they have to be quiet. And I'm walking away.
and I'll just kind of look around at everyone. Do you guys want to go to the garden with us?
Yeah, it'd be nice to go see pretty plants and flowers.
Excellent. Uh, as you guys try, are you, Manya? Are you just running back down that twisty turny hallway
No, I'm like stopping at like
at the door?
the door that Dahlia was like gesturing us to, but like I'm like standing there like let's go.
Kit,
I'll
are
go.
you going to follow them as well?
Did anybody ask me?
I addressed the group.
Um, is everyone else going?
It seems to be
Yep.
that
Yeah.
everybody's agreeing to move towards that space.
Hmm.
I would say you know a quicker route if you decide that you want to go regardless. Regardless if they are hanging out with you or not, you know your way around this castle. You know a quicker route that doesn't result in going through the twisty turny castle part. It is going outside of their traps. It's essentially like a back door. Um,
Don't I know that route too?
you would also know that route in your mind.
Do
I wouldn't go that way if I were you.
do I like know of the like automatons? Like do I understand what Kit I probably don't fully understand, but do I understand a base level of what Kit is?
Yes, I would say that you've seen the automatons drag souls in from the outside in the forest or drag souls to the forest and let them loose. I would say you've seen the automatons like grab people and stretch people and, really kind of brutalize some of the souls here. So you know that they are definitely like a policing force.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you would also like it takes minimal focus to see that she is a little different. Like they don't have internal glow in the same way. They're not made out of the same type of parts. So it is definitely automaton esque, but not. It looks so much more like porcelain doll y.
Mm.
So it's definitely like an animatronic, but instead of it being like an animatronic like Chuck E. Cheese animatronic, it instead is like an animatronic like Progress of Time or in Disney World animatronic.
I would say to Dahlia, we should take her seriously. If she's saying that we shouldn't go this way, we shouldn't. Ask her where we should go. Maybe she'll lead me.
Okay.
You're right. It'd be faster to go, and then Mari might say like one thing, like through this or through that, or
Right, His Highness's chosen can show you. Or His Majesty's chosen.
So funny.
Mari
And she
hates that title. Oh my god.
and she just like gestures, kind of like showing like, well, one of you go ahead.
It is in for an awakening when later on you find out, no, I meant a different game.
All I
Not
know
this
is that you're
time.
friends with him.
Evidence would show. Yeah, no, I'll take them through. Just
Okay.
kind of in a not in a trance because I'm definitely not trancing, but there's definitely like an out of body moment happening. Like why is this guy living in my castle?
Body and
What the hell
instinct starts
happened?
to pull you in familiar
Right.
paths. I would say that you know this one because this one was one that is specifically traversed for quick exits out of the dining hall. A dining hall that you have sat in a million times with all of your cohorts and separated numerous or celebrated rather numerous meals with numerous friends and you know what I mean? Like this is
Yeah.
almost home.
I
And so
imagine
this
Mari
part
doesn't
feels
exist.
comfortable. What
Okay.
would you say?
I was gonna say I imagine Mari doesn't remember exactly, so it's almost like echoes of familiar laughter and
Mhm.
footsteps and stuff like that.
The other piece of it is that a lot of the other parts of the castle being thrown off and kind of like upside down or in different places than you remember them, it being slightly off but looking so similar, I think gives you a lot of a lack of confidence rather on what you think you know about this place. So as you proceed through, you know it's here, but it feels almost dangerous to walk it. It feels familiar in a way that like walking through a mimic of your old house would feel like if somebody made something that was like an offshoot or off brand of what you are used to experiencing. All of the same walls, all of the wrong wallpaper,
Is this
all of
guy
the
just
same
like a
furniture.
fan?
It's it feels weird.
He's my stan? This is so weird.
So you guys continue to walk through this passageway. Big stone walls on either side. You can see here. Eventually, we will show you a big family portrait that sits in this hallway. All of the kids detailed together, sitting in ascending order, with Aerith and Reshi in the centermost part, and the two eldest kids on either side, the two younger kids there. And it looks like there's this blotch on this painting that just is continuously moving, but there's no person there.
Hmm.
It's just like currently always undulating.
I guess they didn't sit for the portrait.
You continue through the passageway, and you see that there is a double paned glass door that has all of these like smaller slits that looks almost like a cathedral door, and that opens into the garden. No weird wonky hallways.
When we walk out there, I would like to immediately do like an investigation check or something to see if I can see if it's still out here.
Okay.
Where's
Hit,
my
how does
investigation?
time pass here? Do you have years, seasons? Would
I
you know
never
one
really
day from the
thought
next?
about it.
You would
Neither
know
have
that you have
I.
some seasons, but nothing major. It's mild, goes hot and cold, and that's it. But no snow, no change.
But there are like days and things, right?
Yes, there's what feels like days, especially inside of the castle. Outside of the castle, it seems as almost like there's a gray sky forever. But when you are inside, you can definitely see that there is a full sunrise, sunset. They have inside of the castle is engineered just like it would have been on the material plane.
I don't know. I never really thought about it that hard, but sometimes it's hot, and sometimes it's cold, and sometimes it's light, and sometimes it's dark, and it's different when you're out there.
It is.
I mean, you were just out there, you know.
I'm trying to remember how long I've been out there.
Can I make a religion check if I've studied this, the other realm, like if I
Yeah,
the afterlife?
yeah. Go ahead and roll me a religion check. What was your perception check, Manya? I'm sorry. I missed it.
Investigation was 17.
17. Okay. hmm.
17.
Besties.
17. Hmm. Um, I would say with a 17, you would see the area where it was. You would have to get closer for you to be able to inspect it. It's still a little too far off in the distance to see where it is, but you do find the area that she had placed it. Like in your mind, you're like, okay, this is a big place. Where the fuck was we? And you can see the little gazebo where you guys were sitting, um, like kind of off in the distance. So you could get over there, but you don't currently see what you are looking for. With a 17 in religion, you would know that all of the planes in hell in particular have different styles of days, but they are not usually full days. They don't feel like a morning and a nighttime. It is usually raining all of the time, or burning all of the time, or flooded all of the time, or acrid all of the time. Like it is not like a spanning cycle that goes from day in to day out. It is usually a all the time kind of thing. And that's why the clock says now, 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 because it's all of the time.
Would I have known we're in hell, or would I think maybe we're in a different part of the afterlife? Like, is that apparent to
Because
us?
of because of that role, I will say you recognize that you are not particularly not in hell, not particularly in hell. You are in stage 1, the stage of limbo, and that becomes very apparent to you.
Okay. I'll share that with the group. I'll address Mari, and I'll say, this is what I've read before that I remember. That's where I think we are, and here's what I know about it.
Do I have the same concept of limbo and hell
Uh,
coming from when I came from?
you would feel a connection to this realm in a big way. Sorry, there's a huge storm brewing outside right now for us.
Nice.
You would feel a connection to this realm in a big way, especially like looking at the shadow woods and looking at the shadow, like the shadow at play here when you are in the castle and seeing this castle kind of holding the bones of your idea of the Shadowfell. Um, for what you understand in your religion and your scope of things, two birds of the same feather. What they're talking about here is this is the space between life and death. This is that retrospect. This is a place where the revered go before they are sent else. So,
We're in the shadows. The in-betweens.
Yes.
Limbo, as you say.
Kit, you're at home. That's it. It's you don't know it by any other name. This is just home to you. And you know that it's bad outside, and that's all there is. So these people are throwing around terms that don't even get kicked around the family, really. This is just sounds like a bunch of them talking about a place that you know and have been for a very long time.
You guys say it like it's a bad thing.
Well, I mean, not limbo, not necessarily bad. There's worse places to end up.
And much better places.
Have you been there? The
No.
better places?
In
No.
life.
There's somewhere better? Tell me about it.
Well, there were skies that could only be matched by the blues of the oceans, where you could be lulled to sleep by the lullaby of the forest, where birds would sing to welcome the morning, and the smell of fresh bread and a sense of freedom was what you awoke with every morning. And music would play from people who wanted to play music. And the skies shifted with the days, with the seasons. There were mountains that would have snow for ever, and shores of beaches that were warm, that would tan your skin, and well, this endless gray, these shadows, they we're only in one small corner of the world, and everything else is beautiful.
Did people want to hurt you when you were there?
Not everyone. There were always some, but the majority of people were kind. They were willing to help each other. They were willing to give, to serve, to protect, to learn, to grow, to thrive together.
If you go back to that place, can you take me?
I would love nothing more.
Sounds nice. We have a lot of nice things here too. You saw everything at that circus. That was pretty cool. I never saw that before today.
I too have never been to a circus, as you say. We'd have grand fairs where people would sail from all across the realms and the worlds, and they would show off exotic animals like elephants, elephants, horses were common where I was from, but not for those that traveled. And oh, the great birds of prey! It was magnificent. Truthfully, your circus pales in comparison to a fair.
Oh, you shouldn't say that here.
I will say, as you guys make your way further into this garden space, you see a lyre sitting tucked in the bush, probably about 100 yards away from you. It is off to the side. It looks like it kind of got bumped off of the ledge with all of the people kind of leaving this area and fell into a bush. You guys are continuing to talk, and as you do, you see Verena walks out into the garden expanse and says, "Hey, Tinhead, are you gonna go see my brother, or are you just gonna keep being weird out here with these people?"
Did he ask to see me?
Well, no, I figured that if he asked to see you, he would have just say it directly right into your tin head. But since, you know, you're here and all, he was kind of, well, I don't want to speak for him. Whatever. See him or don't, I don't care. And then she starts to walk away.
My goal is to grab the lyre.
Roll me a sleight of hand check. She was out here looking for something, but it seems that she got distracted by you guys having your conversation in the garden.
23.
Fuck yeah. Are you trying to hide it from the people that you are with, or are you using them to like block you? Describe how you would like to do this, because it's currently sitting like off to the side. It looks like it got knocked down. You presume that she's going to be coming back for it eventually.
This isn't the first time that I've had to do a stealth mission. And the way that she likes to do stealth is very much out in the open, casual. I'm just a normal person doing exactly what everyone else is doing in this area. I have no idea why you would even question me. So as everyone is talking, she's walking around, smelling the flowers, looking at them, admiring them even, gets to this bush and just reaches.
And grabs. Perfect. Do you tuck it away immediately, or do you keep it just out and on your person? Like, are you just holding it, or do you like stash it?
She puts it on like her hip, like right where normal things are supposed to, like, oh, oopsie, I dropped something, and just places it.
Um,
But she has like a hand on it, but
and
still.
you grab it with your bare hand, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you do, you have a trigger warning for people. As you do, you have a flash in memory of the face of one of your favorite crewmates looking at you as they pummel you and begin to uh, rip at your chest and your shirt and your throat area violently, just with fists and hands and blades, and you see them up close in a violent attack. In the process of cutting from you your vocal cords. As soon as you touch it, it is one of those things that feels like a a sick to the stomach moment of being brought back to a place of disdain, um, and hatred of both the people that are currently doing this to you for turning their backs on you, and a hatred for self.
You said it's like sick to my stomach?
Yeah, you feel queasy, like an immediate like almost vomit kind of belching begins to burble up in your chest.
Okay. I think that she probably like doesn't like tumble in to like the bush, but like tumbles. Like she's probably like it probably seems like she's about to puke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a physicality to it. You see her kind of hunch forward a little bit.
I
After
might
being like standing and walking around, she like smells a flower and then she looks a little queasy, like she's gonna get sick maybe from dinner.
if I noticed, I might have thought she was falling again and tried to reach out and like grab her back, stabilize her.
Okay. As Marisol touches you, you feel multiple crew members at the same time berating you from both sides, a barrage of kicks and punches and scratches and ropes going around your arms and your legs, a binding that is being happening uh, to the mast of the ship, and you recoil from the touch as everything around you starts to feel violent and encroaching.
I'm very sorry, Allie. I'm
It's
so
okay.
very sorry. She
Ali probably or Mari probably at the time. Are you well? And then
Yeah.
there would have been an immediately like an immediate turnaround, and I think that she if I will roll for this if I have to, but an immediate turnaround with her dagger. She
oh,
wants to
cool.
strike Mari.
Initiative
Oh,
time.
yeah. Roll initiative.
Fuck,
Both
all
of
right.
you. Let's see if you put her on her ass.
21.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. That's very fun because I got a natural 20 for a 22.
Fuck. You reach down and touch her shoulder in a caring manner. A
Oh,
extension.
wait. Sorry.
Mhm.
I. She still has the nat 20. She still might go first, but keep forgetting that I give myself a bonus to my initiative roll equal to my wisdom modifier. So it's an additional +2. So I have a 23.
23.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I
So
keep forgetting that because it's not on my sheet. It's just on my.
we will do this the spicy way then. We'll make this a little bit of a spicier scene if you guys are cool with that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Um, you go and try and touch her shoulder tenderly in a moment of recognizing that she might be falling over, and trying to do right by someone just on natural good human instinct. And as you touch her shoulder, she wheels around with a ferocity and a speed that sends you into a memory.
Oh.
You are fighting hand in hand combat, looking into the eyes of a man who steals your heart without you wanting it. He is not overpowering you by any means. He's just one step quicker than you for the first time. In all of your time sparring him, this is the first time that he has actually bested you. He is just one step quicker. And he lunges and is on top of you and has a dagger to your throat. And this pounce that happens, you flash back into your reality and you see fear and anger in her eyes as they cascade black from this beautiful purple iris. The entirety of them fill with black tendrily like swirls as she's got her dagger to your throat. And had you been anyone else, this would have touched your jugular and went straight through. But you being you, maneuver in just enough of the way where the dagger sinks into the cobble next to your head, and you are able to kind of just evade it catching you and nicking you just ever so slightly under the chin. You come back to yourself, and both of you, in a moment of panic and disorientation, realize that there's been a squabble here, and both of you might not be acting of your own volition.
Are you well?
She drops the dagger, and I think just kind of like starts to back away from you.
I would say that Lova probably doesn't jump in at all, but definitely readies herself for combat. I just feel like she is that type of character where she's ready to go at a drop of a dime. But seeing that you two resolve your squabble is just like, what the fuck?
I'm gonna go over to Manya cautiously and just be like, "Are you okay?" Through our telepathic bond.
I've seen flashbacks like that before. In war. I also see that you haven't spoken to anyone yet, aside from, well, I'm not quite sure your sign language. You're not speaking somatically with anyone. But you and Dahlia are clearly communicating. Are you not?
We are.
Ooh.
But they knew that with the stupid trick.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I like it. I like the little Decepticons that are going on right now.
Like Dahlia, you hear in your head. You're brilliantly honest. You're like honest, but also not honest. I'm fine. I thought she was someone else.
Okay, are you sure? Do you need anything?
No, I'm fine. Tell her sorry for the. And she like touches the throat, like where the nick would be. On my own throat, not on yours. I'm not touching you. Sorry.
I was like, oh, so you want to get stabbed? I mean,
No, I realized that I should probably like re-say that so that way.
I've been involved in both stabbings so far. 3 episodes, 2 stabs.
We love to stab here.
Hey.
Hey, are you communicating any of this to me, Dahlia? Or
I'm just staring at her. Then when she makes a sign, I'm like, she's. You can see it on her face. She is so sorry.
with a so Mari reaches up and glides her hand over the cut, and it disappears.
Thick. You watch the same type of tethering, the skin itself grafted with shadow before it disappears and just fades back into the nice warm tone.
Oh, now Kit's gonna think we're freaking besties.
Related. You guys are related.
Related.
We're part of the family.
Am I this guy's like grandmom mom? Don't tell me. Oh God, I stabbed my progeny. Honestly, I can do that.
I wanna.
Honestly, yeah. Honestly, if your grandma hasn't stabbed you, does she even love you?
Am I just a grandma? I feel like it's like
I wanna observe the
somehow
liar.
Tiger got into the family. I'm not quite sure who did that.
The liar is. Are you going to take it out in front of everyone?
I just stabbed someone, so it's like there's no point in secrets. I can't talk to him, so
Really calm about the stabbing. Actually, maybe I should have tried to.
well, it's not like I ever put it away. I kind of had it like hanging on my hip, like attached, because I used to have a
Roll an
liar
Arcana or
there.
Investigation check.
In an Arcana, what?
An Arcana or investigation check.
Okay.
Investigation if you're trying to find out more about the item and the way that it looks. Arcana if you're trying to find out more about what it does.
Oh. Tricky. I think I'm trying to figure out why I felt as if it was mine, and also since she's a music person, also trying to like figure out like the materials and so I guess Arcana. Okay.
There you go. You figured it out.
And that is
Everyone looks dynamite tonight. Good job, everybody.
26.
It was the lipstick.
26. Okay. Within a 26 Arcana, this is a magical item. It has the ability to, I will give you a little stat card for it. It has the ability to charm. The charm does an effect in battle that draws people closer. And so it kind of acts as a lure.
Mm.
As you inspect it and look at the materials, you can see the frame of it is made of solid gold. And the strings on it, the fasteners look like they might be some sort of brass. It's not the same type of material as the body of the instrument. They look like a little bit more of a tarnished brass color. And then the area where the strings kind of stick into the lyre here looks like an organic material. Upon closer inspection, you can see it looks like taut kind of sinew or some sort of musculature. And roll me a nature check.
Oh, that's pretty good. What's my nature? Oh shit. 28.
That's crazy.
I'm sorry.
How are your stats so
We can
high?
just re-roll her. I'm sorry.
She's so
I don't think it's the
ridiculous.
rolling. I think. Well, no.
The sheet's got to be built funny. We got to look.
We can
into
just
it.
rebuild it later.
I think
Yeah.
genuinely you doubled your expertise. You gave yourselves the ×3 ×4. Because I was doing the math in my head, and 29 is possible, not really for level 10. Like you
I
would have
don't
had to take
know.
like
I'm not good
observant
with
and
math.
alert
Oh, I did.
and all that.
She
You
did.
took both?
Yes. Yes, I took
Observant because
feats.
she
Yes.
she hates the
Wait, you've
that
got two
she
20s
hasn't.
and observant and alert?
Yeah.
That's how she maxed it.
Level 10. You know what? It's fine.
Because it's every 4 you get the feat or increase, right?
Right, so she should only have 2 feats, but didn't give her an ASI. And even if she rolled maximum with 18s, she can't get both to 20.
I think that she can't get both to 20, but she could get the
No.
1 to 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. So feasible. I'll have to
So
relook
something
into it.
was doubled up.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it. Not a big deal. We'll handle it offscene. But that big of a roll, we will say for the time being, that is obviously and undoubtedly vocal cording material. And it becomes apparent with you and how high your Arcana check was that they have used your vocal cords to make an instrument that lures people into them.
That stupid bitch.
And that is how, with you, with that high of a roll, recognize that Verena has been luring people into the tent to come and kind of accept their fates.
I'm gonna kill her. And that's what Dahlia hears.
You're gonna kill Mari right now?
No, no,
She's-
no.
Out loud?
No, in my no, we have a telepathic
Wait,
bond.
yeah.
They have telepathic bond.
No.
But my face does look shocked.
I don't know her real name, right? They haven't said their names?
No, not those ones.
Okay. No,
The only one that came out was, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. The only one that came out was Ezzy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just didn't know if I did it because I've been in the circus for a while. Like if I knew Verena's name.
You definitely know Aerith's name.
Okay.
And you definitely know Reshi's name. Verena's name would only have been talked about through like a higher network, so I don't think that you would have had access to her.
Okay. No, the stupid red-headed princess.
Why?
And I think that she'll just show you the liar. These are mine.
What do you mean these? That's one liar.
She rolls her eyes. It's a very obvious eye roll. And she like starts to not pluck as in playing, but starts to like pluck the strings. These aren't normal strings. These are mine vocal cords.
Oh fuck.
Mari kind of leans back. I don't know who's exactly next to her, but she says something to the effect of, I'm not sure if they're fighting.
Lova's like, not yet, but I'm ready.
I don't think I made the hand signals. I'm just staring at it.
No,
It's all right. Well, it's okay because you don't have to
It
make.
just looks like she's like,
Yeah, but since you can talk to me in my head now, there's no need for hand signals. It's okay. Just don't
But
say
if we're
anything.
just looking at each other, like,
Yeah,
people are gonna be like, "What the fuck is happening?"
it's like intense eye contact.
that's so funny.
Yeah, but I just reply. I'm like, "Oh fuck, that's bad."
Yeah, yeah, it is. And you know what? I'm angry. I feel like I'm probably angry for more than one reason, but I'm really angry. So I want to kill her.
Since she's
If
the
you-
child of Lyra, I would assume she's divine, and I don't think you can kill a god.
I can try.
Oh, hubris.
Kit, it looks like they're going to stare at each other for the next few hours. If you wanted to see whoever, feel free to depart.
I don't want to see anyone.
Oh.
Nobody asked to see me. You heard.
Damn.
Well, I asked you to be part of my team.
Yeah. We're a team.
Oh,
That's the scariest team ever. That's literally the archer on the big mech is the scariest team ever.
Nick is the
I'm-
Big Mac.
I'm just a little doll.
I'm just a little doll.
That's true.
I'm just
I
a
know.
girl.
But is that your final form?
No.
No.
100% no. We all know no.
Like Trigun Transformer.
She's like, I'm a Gundam.
Oh my gosh. Now I have to go look for this anime. I watched it. I don't even remember when. But it was like this little witch. I think it was called something Grimoire. And it's this little witch on top of this big, like, tiger man or like lion man. And I loved it. Oh my god,
Sounds
so
great.
much. Now I've
I'll have to look.
got to find it and message you about it cuz
Send that to the chat.
Oh, we could do a team watch of it. I loved it so much.
Amazing. Stream the watch.
Yeah, we could.
So,
Anyway,
Dahlia,
Um,
you
sorry,
here
Kat.
again. You here again. Oh, that's a good idea. Ask the robot. Where is she?
Where Verena is?
Yeah, the redheaded princess.
Listen. She's a kid of my goddess. I'm not gonna help you do that.
You don't have to help me kill her,
Aaron
but can I?
Freeman.
I can find her.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna turn to Kit. I'm like, so you know this place. Do you know where everybody is
Right now,
in general?
I don't have the ability to keep track of everyone.
I
did
thought
say-
maybe like you know where their rooms are, or like where a living room is.
I
There are multiple sitting rooms. They did mention we were being watched. You could potentially ask whoever's watching us.
who
The
are you
goddess
looking
is
for?
omnipotent. You can just reach out to her.
Great. Reach out to her and get her stupid daughter.
I said I'm not gonna help you that way.
Is there a statue or like a little tiny vase or anything like near me?
oh yeah, for sure. It's a garden I designed. Of course, there's ugly statues all over the place.
I
I
happen to think they were nice.
I would like to push over any statue that is like small enough to just easily be pushed.
Okay. It takes you a second to. It's like it. There are statues. They're fairly decent sized. I'd say like busts and torsos and things of the like. Um, there's one smaller one that is like. I don't know if you've ever seen an Art Deco piece that's supposed to be a dolphin, but it's these like weird kind of dragony looking creatures. There's one of those that's on a little plinth by a higher wall on the garden. So you have to walk like a couple feet to get there, so it would be like more like a storm away and push. But yeah, you make your way over. You push it over. I won't make you roll strength for it. I'll say you
Oh,
do
yeah.
it. You're strong girl.
Hell yeah.
Strong independent woman.
I'm raging as not a barbarian.
I understand. You go and you very daintily push this like really fucking heavy statue off of this pedestal, and it falls into like a grassy nully area, and it doesn't break, and it's really anticlimactic, and it's
Great.
kind of unfortunate. But
Would
you like
offer to help.
obviously you're throwing a fit. To which you see two automatronic things kind of pop up out of the garden.
Oh
These
fuck.
big fucking rabbit face looking like almost tech suit turbo cop looking things pop out of the garden and are just like refrain, and they pick the thing up and they put it on the pedestal.
Okay. Calm down. You're gonna get us in trouble, and especially yourself. So, like, Verena. No, I don't know her name. Sorry. The princess, clearly a little bit of a bitch, which you can relate to, and don't want to piss her off. Come on.
Game recognizes game.
I like that she just so nicely called me a bitch.
I love that. It was buried in there, but it was there.
It was there.
She's a bitch. I'm sure you can relate. Look.
I think she just kind of looks at you, kind of like shakes her head, and then be like, only because the robots showed up will I calm down. But she's on my radar, and I will get answers.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? You wanted to talk to your goddess. When we find her, we can ask her. No, she'll take it. I'm hiding it.
Well, I was gonna talk to my goddess alone, but you can
What?
ask her if
I thought you were bringing me with you. I thought you were gonna talk to her because you were gonna ask about my friend. So I thought I was coming with you so I could. What? By yourself?
yeah. I'll ask her about your friend and I'll let you know.
That's chosen one energy.
That's devastating.
Well, I just like really thought that we were
Mhm.
like going together.
There
You said
are
you didn't.
questions.
You said you didn't know them, but you know me.
I think I've known you for like 2 hours. Let's be real. Not that I don't like you. You're cool. You helped me out. Thank you. But I'm gonna help you out. You know, you can talk to her too. She's so nice. You see how nice she is.
Fine. I guess I'll just wait my turn. I guess I don't have to go with you.
I don't
Okay.
even want to say
What?
anything.
And probably Mary sees me going through a whole face journey.
I'm I feel like I figured you out, but like cuz the hand signs are inconsistent and it just I don't think you're doing them anymore, Manya. So like
She's just staring and going,
I feel like Mari might know that you're telepathic. Maybe not how you're doing it, but like clearly your botched attempt at some sort of sign, especially from someone who would have used call signs in an army. There's no way at all.
hilarious.
Whoops.
So, you continue to have this conversation telepathically. Um, all the while, the robots kind of now are on alert and like walking around the garden and start pruning stuff now, but like obviously you're doing surveillance patrols like on this area.
My heart's been broken. I'm just gonna sit on a bench with my lyre and start playing music.
Oh,
Well, that's sad.
okay. First and foremost, roll me a performance check.
Are you sure? My performance is kind of great.
Oh, I'm absolutely
The
positive.
rolls have been kind of great all night.
Right?
So I definitely rolled a critical one. So,
Womp.
but my performance does have a really plus high of a modifier, but it's a critical one, so it's okay.
Okay. This is what happens. You begin to pluck a
Mm.
familiar tune to you, and when you have played this song before, you have always accompanied it with your voice. It is part of the song that you are used to, and you go to sing out of familiarity. And the hoarsest sound comes out of you, and the instrument sings with your voice, but it's not coming from you. It is coming from your instrument. And as you begin to play, you can hear yourself for the first time in a long time, your own voice singing from the strings that you are plucking.
That
Also, everyone needs to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
I feel
Fuck.
like
With
she.
advantage.
You have advantage
Heroes feast.
because of the hero's feast if you partook.
Don't even need it because it's a nat 20.
Dang.
Nice.
And then
What
my
did you?
second is a 26.
Nice.
Not 20. Woo,
Nice.
feast.
26 as well.
Damn.
Perfect.
Everyone's
Got a
getting 26.
16.
Shit.
You got a 16.
Mhm.
Excellent. You drop in front of Manya, as do the other automatons as they quickly come forward and then are knocked prone by this instrument.
With all of those actions, I mean, I think the voice enough probably would have terrified her, but with all the robots dropping prone, she immediately stops.
I would say,
Uh,
Kit, you can add another stressor to you.
Uh-oh.
This is another part of that being forced to do something that you were number one not ready to do, and being forced to do something against like your free will and protocol adds a level of stress to you.
She's like right in front of me, right? Could I hold a hand out to her, kind of like to help her up at least?
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay.
are you all right?
Yeah, Kit, I'm trying to help you up because I definitely didn't
Okay.
mean it.
I would very tentatively take the hand and brush off and like take a few steps back
What did
and
you
kind of just
do?
huff.
And Madi says, "What?" And then immediately like looks over to Dahlia. Like, what did she do?
I have no clue.
Do I even know?
Mm, Anybody who has an Arcana, like a couple levels in Arcana, can roll for it to see if they understand it.
No.
Me
I was gonna
too.
say no one moved, so no one knows.
I rolled, but I got a 10.
Yeah, that's not going to be high enough for this one.
Yeah.
It just feels strange, odd that she would be able to do that through a musical instrument. This almost dissonant singing from elsewhere, um, that was like ringing around the chamber, causing this effect, feels misplaced, like someone being able to throw their voice behind you or something like that. And it quickly feels like you heard her for the first time. Um, she's got a little bit higher of a singing voice than speaking voice. I wouldn't even say that the notes that she plays go high enough to be considered like siren style noises. It's just the very fact that the melody is so entrancing that you can't help but be drawn into listening to it. So, I would say also in this moment, as the automatons kind of get up and correct themselves, uh, they would, after being after they fall over, there's a moment and lapse of where their like energy flickers, and then as soon as they're upright again, then they kind of go back to the task that they were doing.
Good. Good. Didn't piss him off. Perfect. Great.
They said make yourselves at home. They did not say don't steal.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
And if you're at home stealing, that they explicitly told you to do that.
I made myself at home. It's my
Yeah.
instrument.
So I think we will end there for tonight's session, and pick back up. Not what Friday? What Friday?
Not
Mm,
next Friday, but the Friday after.
So the
Be back on
16th.
schedule.
The 16th.
All right. Well, we will see you guys on the 16th. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you next time.
See you in 2 weeks.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.